Hello, everybody, and welcome to 16 Infinite Fantasy. I am joined by the whole cast. I don't want to make you guys say hello because Kristen's dad was just too hurtful to my soul. So you got out of it this time.
I like getting rewarded for my bad behavior.
I know. Well, I'll just send this to any future employers and you'll immediately get fired for being culturally inappropriate.
Please don't joke about that.
Anyways, last time that we left off, the party had fled the fields of ice. The plains of ice, rather. Leaving behind the Leviathan, one of the Imperial flagships, in pursuit. You guys had faked a crash landing for your ship, but also tried to make it seem like it was an unrelated crash landing, just like a pleasure cruise gone wrong. And snuck off into the town of Pearl's Edge. This kind of coastal resort town, mostly fishing resort town. Spent some time there, kind of recouped, recovered, made a plan. Zed went in as a different persona to a bank and retrieved a large sum of cash. At which point you guys boarded a train heading to Damask, where you could you'd purchase tickets for an airship that would be taking you way south to Kilfeld, the nearest major city to your next destination. However, the train was attacked by dragoons and Imperial soldiers and mages along the way. Including Gwynedd, who seems to be a former companion of Zed's that he knew before perhaps getting into all of this resistance business. They exchanged some quick information and made a few plans before Gwynedd departed, making it seem like she'd been taken out of the battle. After that, you guys made a plan to correct me if I'm misremembering, but 4 of you will be ditching the train to kind of camp out in the wilderness near the city. That would be Agatha, Orozco, and I guess not 4 of you, 3 of you, and Silas. And at the same time, Asta and now Zonk will be staying on the train, but disguising yourselves as different individuals to go into the city to buy an airship. No, am I misremembering?
Asta does not have disguise self available due to lack of any spell slots. So has to meet Zonk the next day.
Okay. My bad.
And then I have to change the spells I have prepared to do it as well.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's a tomorrow thing. But also,
yeah,
I think it's because Asta is not reliably able to disguise herself.
Okay.
I can only do it for 4 hours, essentially. Or I guess I could do it for 7 if I want to use my second level spell slots.
Once you're in the city, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's like getting in there. I more meant charisma-wise, you were not going to be able to carry off a daring disguise.
No.
All right. So we will say we're going to cut ahead a little bit. The 4 of you have was the plan to just jump off the train, or are you like disconnecting one of the cars? It was a little bit.
Plan was to disconnect the train, and then I also am using a spell slot to silent image Roscoe running in a different direction.
Right.
For added
I
espionage.
I think we didn't disconnect the stuff because Zed was going in with the passengers.
That's right. They were
So
supposed
like
to jump.
the silent image thing happened, but we didn't disconnect any of the trains. And when you jumped, I featherfalled you, so you didn't all just splatter into the ground. Out of kindness.
Yeah, so we're all in
Yeah,
agreement.
yeah.
We did not connect. We
Yeah.
all agree we did not
Sorry,
connect the
I
trains.
thought you said that we did disconnect the trains.
Nope, I said didn't.
Oh, I heard
Okay.
it too. I'm sorry.
No worries. Okay, cool. Before you hop off the train, well, we see the silent image of Ratio, etc., going in a different direction. You kind of camp out in the underbrush for a moment till the train's like fully gone before continuing onwards. Okay, yeah, we already made the checks. I remember right now. Okay, yes. So yes, you guys competently made your way through the surrounding forest. It's not particularly difficult terrain. It's a little bit hilly here and there, but you're kind of making your way towards more of a valley forest, so it's not too hard going. You make your camp. There are like houses and homes out here. It's not pure wilderness. Here and there are houses and homes. A lot of people. It is not like, for instance, our modern day conceptions. There are not a lot of single family homesteads like scattered throughout the wilderness, just because of the way that monsters are, particularly late. Most people tend to group up at least in a small town versus like just having a one house out in the wilderness. So it is a little bit more, or a little bit less developed than like our own modern day city might be, where it's kind of like sprawling out. So you can get fairly close to the city and still be in fairly like, undeveloped, thick woods, more or less. You guys are camping out there. Zed, you, on the other hand, as if you're new disguise, you make a very competent, disguise. Kind of in a rush. You weren't expecting to do this, but you have some like papers for this Zonk character. As you're pulling into the concourse, everybody is like being taken out and interviewed. I will say you get the feeling that there's a sort of situation where the left hand is not talking to the right situation, right? Basically, they're being fed, and the way that it's being presented to you is that there were terrorists aboard the train. Imperial soldiers were like sent in magically to stop them, and they were driven off, more or less. So they're kind of giving anybody who may have seen something that they shouldn't have, like, has a very convenient out to just be like, oh, well, like they were fighting terrorists, and I guess stuff happens. But it's clear that like these people interviewing you believe that as well. So it's not too terribly hard for you to make these checks. However, I do need you to make a either stealth or deception check, because there are some Imperial agents in the concourse looking for anything suspicious that aren't just these policemen doing more standard interviews, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I rolled a 21 on deception, but Zonk is also like he was sleeping in one of the sleeper carriages. Like, it wasn't the one that was fighting near. He did kind of wake up, but he's used to like sleeping in all kinds of weird situations because he's on the road so much. He's like, I just didn't hear anything. He's like, he's also not in any way curious about like what had happened. He's just like, I don't really care if it's not about Moonball. Like, I'm not that invested.
They will, and I think you probably know this. They will probably ask you. They'll say something like, "Because your name's not going to be on the passenger manifest, right?" This person. How would you get around that? Like when that question comes up, and like, I can't find your name here on the passenger list.
Knowing that there was a passenger list, I think Zed would have, from one of the people that died, like picked up that thing and just said that, oh yeah, like my agent booked it for me, and used that name and be like, yeah, they should also be getting off at some point. Like, not realizing that person is not going to get off the train.
Yeah, that person's dead. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I will give that to you, especially if you're 21. They wave you on. They will tell you, we're advising everybody at this time not to leave the city for the next couple of days in case we have any follow-up questions. Which kind of lets you know that you're kind of being tagged, more or less, but only as Zonk.
Sure. I mean, Zonk exists to eventually be burnt in this kind of situation anyway.
Yeah.
Zonk is as real as Zed is. He just hasn't been around for a while. And also, Zonk has to, like, know how to play Moonball, and Zed's not great at it. So, like... but yeah, after that, he will, like, probably go find a place to stay. The place that he mentioned to the others that he would stay.
Yeah, I can't remember if
I wrote it down.
Give me the name.
We did, and I don't know why I have, for some reason, not. I remember writing it down. Oh, you said it, and then I was like, can it be something less sordid? Because of what you called it, and I don't know why I didn't write that down. Impossible to know. Something Rose, maybe?
Rosebud.
No.
It wasn't that. Don't know.
I don't think I had my notebook on me at that time, so I definitely didn't write it down.
I truly don't know why I didn't write that down.
Okay, we'll say that it's like the blooming rose.
Yeah, that sounds like what you named it, and then there was a whole thing about I wanted one less sorted than that.
Yeah, well, I can only think of, when you say rose, I can only think of things that sound a little bit sorted. Anyways, you book a room there, and then you wait for the next day. Is there anything you want to do before that time?
Yeah. If there's some sport happening,
Yeah.
Zonk will go watch some sport, but like nothing important that needs to be on screen.
You go and watch a local moonball competition. There's no.
I'll pick up a like Pride Moonball that's there. It's actually for Moogle Pride, so it looks like a Moogle's pom pom. It's weird.
So it's a red ball.
Yep.
Okay.
Moonball famously normally played with a white ball. It's very important, the difference.
All right. You go watch the ball, wait for the next day. After that, how do you disguise yourself before making your way into the city?
I think what I do is obviously just cast a spell, so I'm going to let me just remember what are the max changes you can make.
Does this mean we long rest?
Yes,
this
you
is
will come
actually-
get a long
Okay, so this
rest.
is like I can't do it, so okay. Do. Please hold as I long rest and change my spells.
It's another classic not having to heal after a long rest.
Yep.
How did you not have to heal?
No,
You
I'm
really
saying
died.
it for Asta.
Oh.
Whereas I have to heal all of my hit points.
No, Aster always takes damage as well.
See,
Yeah, I do.
yeah, I guess I'm switching.
You can make yourself up to a foot different in height,
Yes.
changing your kind of general face features,
okay.
body mass. Has to be
What
the
skill do you
same
use for it?
form.
What skill do
It's-
I use for it?
Yeah. Like, what's your ability? Sorry.
This
It's
guy's
just
stuff.
this guy's self. It's a spell.
Okay. Are you gonna be making a roll?
No.
Okay.
Not for the spell
You should-
itself.
Got it.
Just
Hey, whatever you're planning still sounds like a good idea.
I don't know. If it's something that only lasts like a minute or something, it's not going to be useful.
I have yeah, like I can enhance ability, but that's
That's only an hour, I
That's
think.
only
I
an
have to stay
hour.
within
yeah.
30 feet.
don't worry. Aster can
I
flash
don't
of
think
genius
so.
through a lot of stuff.
I can.
Yeah.
I do get that, so that does help. Majesty, what are you doing in there? My God. I'm going to make myself seem a foot shorter since I am quite tall. Make myself probably thinner. And I will change my hair color to be blonde and hair or eyes become blue, and just try to change my color scheme of basically everything and change the cut of my jacket so it's not such a trench coat, it's more of just a regular to the top of your pants kind of coat.
Okay, so you just like change and then like complete palette swap sort of going on. All right. While the rest of you are camped resting, you see Asta kind of completely do a 180 on their appearance before heading into Damask. You didn't take you too long to find where Zonk has elected to stay after going to like a directory asking for a bit of directions. The two of you meet up. How are you planning to go and find an airship for purchase?
Firstly, Zonk is in the lobby, but has no concept of what Aster's going to look like. So,
Do I know what
it's
Zonk looks
important.
like?
Yeah, they did
Yeah,
this
you
guy
saw
on the frame.
you saw that my disguise.
Okay.
He's got blue hair. Like, it's not that uncommon, but it's not super common. He's got a red moon ball on his lap that he's like rolling between his fingers.
I don't want to make
Yeah, I
you
mean,
make
if
a
I know
roll,
it-
but
yeah.
I think that would be pointlessly complicated.
And it'd be at a minus, it'd be sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll just are you at did you say you're at a table?
Like in the lobby, sitting on a chair or something. Like,
Okay. I'll just
watching all the people
nonchalantly do
renting
that as
rooms
well.
by the hour.
I'll just come up and join you in the lobby. Good.
Zonk barely acknowledges you, and then
Watch a lot of Red
goes
Moon
back
Ball.
to like Slumber Ball. Sorry, I missed what you said.
Watch a lot of Red Moonball. I don't know what this is because I wasn't here last time.
No,
I feel like that's an asked
Moonball
question.
white. Moonball's a white ball. This is a commemorative for the Mughals, for the downtrodden Mughals ball. And then, of course, your voice isn't disguised, so Zonk
No.
actually looks over and is like, "Oh, welcome." And it, like, goes back to a Zed voice and stands up. Would I have had time to sell the gems the previous day, or will I need to do that today as well?
No, you could have done that.
Great. Can I try and haggle for a good price, even though I don't want to actually do it? Can I just roll?
Sure, I will allow you to roll. I'll let me look what I said that they were worth.
Last week you said somewhere in the realm of 50,000.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Please.
Yeah, this was like a lot of money that you got from this thing. Okay. Yes, I will say that if you roll under a 10, you will only be able to get 40,000. 15 will net you 50. 20, 55, and 25 or higher, 60.
So if I roll under a 10, it's 40?
Yes.
And then between 10 and 15? Okay, great. So if I roll a natural 1, we get 10k less.
I think that's fair.
Well, that's fine. It's an
Yeah,
11.
yeah.
All right. I think Zonk walks in and he does a thing where he just looks around for like some poster and he's like, "Oh, this guy's got a poster of this thing. I'm going to try and connect him with this." And it's just, it does not work in any way. He's like, that's a poster for the aesthetic. It's covering up a hole in the like.
Yeah. And this guy's like, these are super valuable, but like, it's going to take me forever to sell these. And, you know, like, I'm more than happy to buy them, but like, this is what the price is that I can give you.
Okay. So that was 50, you said.
For this is 50. Yes. Sorry, I had to remember what I said now.
Yeah, that's all good. I just added it to my thing so I don't forget. All right. Yeah, so I think Zonk says to Asta, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a while since I've been airship shopping. Is there like a way that you normally do this? Do we go to the port and there just might be people selling their airships?
In the past, when I've had to try to buy new components for the Persilium, is that usually done at the port, or is there usually like a separate shipyard?
Components, I would say, is a little bit different at times, but so your options are, generally speaking, you can go to a shipyard, and they will have mostly newer airships. You could also try to find a junkyard, which might have something on the cheaper end, although quality can vary. Those are the two places that you generally would look for components, depending on the age of the airship. You know, the Persilium's a little bit newer, so you don't have to junkyard crawl as much, but it does happen. You also, I would say, if you get it from the shipyard, there's going to be a lot more paperwork involved.
And a paper trail.
Yeah. You're paying in cash, though, so that's
That helps.
the nice thing, yeah.
And a
I'll relay
disposable
that
name.
to Zed.
Okay, well, I mean, we can check out the junkyard if you like it. If they might have a full airship that is in flying condition.
It's less likely, but would be cheaper and less questions asked, less paperwork involved.
Yeah. Okay, well, we can do that and then the shipyard. Yeah, I think we'll go to the junkyard first and just see if they have random airship that suits our purpose, which is small and fast. And will fly. To Killfell.
Hmm.
Okay. You head on over to this junkyard. It is kind of like that. It's not too far from the port and the shipyard, the nicer one. But it is kind of just full of like rust buckets. It's a mix of. It's not just like an airship junkyard. It's just a junkyard. There's like parts for different kinds of land vehicles here, like other kinds of equipment, machinery, like even some construction stuff. It's a really, really big place. There's a big sign out front that says Talon's Yard. And when you get up, it seems like a little bit like every time you walk up to a junkyard, there's like a moment where you're like, is there anybody actually here? As you're looking around trying to figure out, like, is there somebody I can talk to actually buy something? But before too long, you hear like a mixture of swearing and then like a big clank. And somebody will walk out from kind of like ducking under a half-opened garage door, whether because it's broken or they're just a little bit lazy, you're not 100% sure. But there's this very old, like grizzled-looking gentleman who has like trucker hat on, like a beard that is very much, it's not super long, but it is very unkempt. And the grease is caked into this man's soul. It's the sense that you get as they kind of like start to walk up to you, looking around. They say, "Customers, all right, what can Talon do for you today?"
Do you? Oh, hang on. He's in Zonk. Do you have any airships?
He kind of looks you up and down.
Oh, you're a fan. And he like extends his hand and at the same time like drops the moon ball in a way that looks kind of flashy as he traps it with his foot, but it's really very easy, and says, "Yes, I'm Zonk."
He'll like wipe his hand on his overall and in a way that clearly lets you know it's going to be incredibly greasy anyways. And then like puts his hand out and will like give you a very firm shake. Say, nice to meet you, Zonk. I'm not sure we have anything for. Well, actually, he kind of thinks for a minute. What exactly are you looking for in an airship?
Do you have any that have a working engine?
Yeah. This might be a yard full of junk, but doesn't mean everything here is broken. I
Naturally.
have some that are a bit less working than others, I would say. And I do have scrap frames if you're more interested in that.
Why don't you start with we'll start with the most working ones and we'll work our way down. You see, I got signed to play. Hang on, let me pick a place. I got signed to play for Obrio, but I have to get there pretty quick. But the signing bonus, it's not really that much, so.
Okay.
I'll kind of flip a wrench around.
Well, I
Those are
have
my little
two.
multi-tools.
I have two that are sort of opposites, I would say, and then one that's a little bit more on the edge. Opposites meaning one of them looks like shit, but it runs pretty well still, and then the other one looks pretty good, but the engine is kind of it's very finicky. It's not great. It's a little bit temperamental. I have a third one that's Well, she's very special. Does need a lot of work inside and out. We lost somebody. He'll kind of take you over to like a more wide open area where it's kind of there's like a few different larger garage doors, and he'll go and open up a couple of them to reveal 3 different airships that he's talking about. They're all in like the small, medium size. Like none of these are huge. Even the biggest one probably can only hold like 10 people or so, comfortably, of course. Like if you can always like pack people in on a deck, but that's not gonna be safe. He'll gesture. This is the one that works the best. It's an old well, it was a racing skiff. It kind of, and he'll like, you look at it, it's like smashed. Like it very clearly has been smashed at some point. Like the front is smashed. He says it's yeah, it looks pretty bad, but I promise you that's just all the outside. The engine is still very, very good. This was an old, it's a racing skiff. Some guy crashed it. I got it for a fairly good deal. It's well, part of the problem, it was impounded after the crash, got auctioned off. Then somebody used it for making one of those crystal videos. So it kind of got wrecked a little bit again. Finally, I picked it up. The cockpit is pretty shit. Everything's pretty broke. The paneling, he says, and he'll flap it and like a piece of the frame falls off. Yeah, it's not great, but he says, and he'll take you inside. He says, on the inside, and he'll like go in. Somebody started to restore it before I bought it, and he'll pull out a sheet. And he'll say, and the engine is pretty nice. It doesn't really have anything else going for it. Not a huge cargo. Probably could hold maybe like. He kind of thinks about it, and he'll take you down, and you can see there's 4 beds. He says, if it's just the 2 of you, plenty of room. Only needs 1 real crew member, so that's nice. Like the seats are like torn, like the foam has been chunked off at points. There's like springs sticking out of a bunch of the seats. It visually is not great. Go ahead and make me an airship or a Tinkerstool check.
Can I help enough to give advantage with my jack of all trades, like pointing out?
They should already have advantage from
Yeah, I should. I just forgot to click.
airship expert.
Well, in that case, don't worry about it.
Indeed.
Trying to charm Talon.
So, getting into like a bit of the mechanics here, it's if you have to travel in this long term, it's going to be very uncomfortable until you like fix it. So that is an issue. But despite the fact that the frame is kind of fucked up, the engine is good enough that it is going to be very fast. And if you get into another situation where you are, doing some hard maneuvers, it's going to be better for that than probably most other ships, unless you were to buy like a brand new version of a racing ship. But it doesn't have anything else going for it. Like the cargo space is small to nil. There's not like a lot of living amenities. There's no kitchen or anything like that. So it's not going to be comfortable, but it will be fast. He'll say, but that's enough of that one. The other one I got that one of the other ones, it's an old holler, and he'll walk over to it, and it looks like it's in decent shape. It's not brand new, but it's kind of fine. And he'll walk you through it. It's a little bit bigger. It's like way smaller than the Priscillium, but it is sort of like the scaled down version of that. He says, I think it was mostly used as a salvager. It's been in use for a very long time, and you can tell it's an older ship. It's got an older style of airship even. He says the engine's a little bit finicky, but it flies. It's got some weird additions to it. And he'll go up to the cockpit. So the glass is like very thick, and it's very clearly not meant to be like airship glass. He says, I think that they took this, and he'll tap it, from a greenhouse. It's been worked on a lot. But it's been in the air for a long time, and that does mean that it still flies. He says, you probably want 2 people on crew, just to have someone be keeping up on the engines while you're flying. But it's got 2 sleeping berths, a real big cargo, and he'll tell you could fit like a tank almost into the cargo hold on this one. He says it's not the fastest thing. And you can tell it's going to be a bit of a boat to maneuver. But he says, I'm sure that take a hit and keep going. So I thought I got one more, but it's pretty. It's an old. It's not technically an airship, sort of. And he'll walk you over towards it. It's an old weapons platform, actually, that at some point was given a cockpit engine to kind of make it more of a flying thing, but technically meant to be a stationary sort of thing. It's like basically it's a rectangle that they've like strapped an engine to, and it's got a cockpit. Yeah. He says, but I don't know if you moonballers care for such things, but it's got some weaponry on it. In case you run into monsters. I don't know what you're going to be doing. If you just need something to fly, like from here to there, maybe not the best choice. But you can see it's got like hard points, and it does have like a couple weapons mounted on it. They're just like very simple. Like they're kind of old school. They're like Magitech ballista more so than guns. Mm-hmm. So they're meant to fire like bolts of magical energy. He says, gonna be unwieldy. Got some like a good amount of cargo space. You're gonna be sleeping a little exposed because there's not really a hold to it. But that's what I got. Only takes 1 pilot, plus however many gunners you want.
I think Zonk is looking at this rectangle and just looks at Asta for any indication that we shouldn't immediately be returning to the racing airship.
No, that's what Asta is thinking. Like she's looking at this this platform is just like, you could see that she's looking at it with her like mechanics eyes, and is just it's like the one red shirt engineer who's just going, why don't we have where were the safety protocols in assembling this? It's just like, how did this not
There's no
explode
ray.
upon immediate construction?
Zung says, I mean, I wasn't planning on needing any weapons, but he looks at the racing one, and then to ask could we put weapons on the fast one, the one that gets me to the place that I'm hired to be?
He, I mean, you know that it's
And it's
not
possible.
made. It's not made for it. There's no hard points, nothing like that. And you're like, there wouldn't be a good spot to do it, but you can always weld stuff to places. It's definitely not impossible.
Zung says, I'm pretty partial to the beat up racer. I like the thing that has the heart. It's like a veteran. It's what carries teams. He says as if he's educating Astor about Moonball, when really he's just trying to connect the ship to Talon to get a discount slightly.
He nods. Yeah, I can see that.
How much for the good engine wrapped in the bad airship?
Well, it does have a nice engine, right now, probably I'd want to get at least 40 for it. I know it doesn't look like much, but once you fix it up, it could probably sell for a lot more than that even.
Zung says,
you know that this is not uncomparable to buying. You could get a newer airship for not that much more, but it does have a very nice engine. And if you go to the market, you're probably going to get something more generic, if that makes sense.
Like, for the same price, we wouldn't get as fast of an engine.
It'll be nicer, more generally speaking, and you could maybe even get something bigger, but it's not going to. You're probably not going to find a like a racing made engine airship.
Those things those are expensive because they're
Yeah.
I'll kind of shrug at Zed.
She's going to look and come back. Like, it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
What did you say to Zed?
Like, I agree with the racing, but we could also come back, look at some other. You want to travel in style a little bit, no?
Yeah, I
To
was
maintain this
hoping.
persona.
I was hoping to turn it into after you fly me there, maybe I'll pay you to
I can do a
fix it
lot.
up, and then pay you to fix it up, and then it can be like a little airship bachelor pad. The women, they like the airship bachelor pads. The groupies for Moonball, it works. And he kind of smiles at Talon and then says, but yeah, I think we're going to go check out what I can get that doesn't need all the fixing up, because my signing bonus was just over 40,000, and I have to pay this one. And I'll have to pay a lot to fix it up. And if I'm going to live in it, if you can come down on price, I'm more interested. But he'll start heading to the exit.
Well, when you change your mind, it'll be here.
All right. After we leave, Zed will be like, I really like that racing ship. How much do you think it would cost us to fix it up in Kilpel?
What would my approximate estimate probably be?
Probably.
Knowing market rate for materials.
It depends a little bit on how much time that you have as well. Because if it's like if you're doing all the work yourself, it's gonna be a lot cheaper. But if you like need to hire a crew to help you out, then that ups it a little bit. Just for parts, you know, like on the low end, would be like 5,000 or so. You know, maybe getting into 10 if you want to get like some fancier bits and bobs.
Yeah.
If you're paying somebody else to do it, it's going to be more like 25,000.
The materials up to between 5 and 10k gil. If we want to hire somebody to do it, and not just have me slave away, double that.
Well,
Time is also a
Let's go-
consideration.
yeah.
Let's go to the
I
shipyard.
like not having a paper trail at all though. But yeah, let's go to the shipyard.
Heading on over to the shipyard, there are they have several that are sort of like or not several, but they have many that are sort of like the same, basically the same model, which is you could get pretty easily like a one form or another of a light skiff. It's sort of like the more generic version of the racing airship, which I forgot to mention. It does have a name, or it had a name on the side. There was a big in like big letters. It was just named Folly, Folly. So you can get something that is in a similar class but not built for racing. That would run you about 30,000 gil, which is not unreasonable. So it's going to be like pretty fast, not as fast, fairly maneuverable, no weapons, not that big of a cargo, etc. There's also they have a few armored transports, which are going to be a lot slower, more for cargo, not super maneuverable, but these are going to be like reinforced hull. You're going to have like one set of weapons on them. Those are going to run you closer to 50,000. They have a couple like luxury vessels. So these are more like medium-sized yachts. Beds for 6, but could fit double that fairly easily. A good amount of cargo. Like a real kitchen inside and like real amenities, like nice furniture. It would be very nice to stay in this one. But that's going to run you closer to like 65, 70. Can you roll me a D100, whoever would like to?
I'll do it. I feel really bad at rolling right now.
How much money
so-
do we actually have? Do we just have the 50,000 from the gems? or we
That's
have
not
more?
really that relevant.
You have enough money for any of these, I believe.
Here's
Okay.
the thing. Yeah, Zed will not balk at the 65,000.
Okay.
Like, I rolled the 60.
63. Okay.
Just checking.
Yeah, no, we have 50,000 in group funds, and Zed also has on top of that.
Okay.
That he withdrew. Well, someone withdrew.
On a 63, they do have one other ship that is sort of catches your eye. It is very expensive. They'll say this is a Corvette. It was kind of designed and built to for a basically a design competition for military purposes that it lost. They took out some of the more sensitive stuff, and now they're trying to just sell it more as like a something closer to like the skiff or whatever like that. It the biggest thing is that it is has some like stealth capabilities. So it is pretty maneuverable. It's smaller. It will fit the 5 of you, but it's going to be a little bit
High
cramped.
quarters. Yeah.
It's fairly maneuverable. It's fairly fast. It does have one weapon space, but the weapon was taken out. So you'd have to, procure that elsewhere. But in cloud cover or in the sky, it has been designed to be very, very hard to see. It also has a like kind of keyed into the engine is a magical array that prevents tracking via spell up to a certain amount of power. This one, however, they're trying to sell for 120,000.
I mean, if we were unlimited funds, that would be the best, but we're not.
Zed thinks about it for a bit and goes, well, I assume the others didn't have the foresight of pooling their money to you towards this because we had the gems.
Best I can give you as put into this is another, where is it? 6,000. Should be not nearly enough.
Zunk just says to the salesperson being like, I don't know, you do 105,000?
Make a persuasion check on this, like randomly.
I don't even really want this.
Okay.
God damn it. 24.
He kind of thinks about it for a minute and he says, well, since you're paying cash, I can do 110, but I really can't go lower than that. We're already kind of selling it at a loss because of all the, expense to produce it. And it's a one-off. So, if we wait long enough,
It's a 1 of 1.
somebody will buy it for the novelty alone.
Yeah.
Hearing that it's a 1 of 1 ass is going to indicate that would be highly conspicuous because it's a 1 of 1. Much easier to find it that way.
Zed knows that, but also he wanted to get the guy down by a lot. He goes, look, I've got to go get the funds anyway. We'll come back. We'll pick one. Maybe this one, 110. You suggest a good price.
He says, hey, the luxury clipper, it's very, very nice inside. It's, I would say, better, personally, unless you're really interested in, like, it being a collector's item.
I think Zed intimates that he is interested in that, but we'll start to head off with Asta.
Yeah, it's
And
like,
when we leave, say, if we bought the bad ship with the good engine, how long would it take you to put it into one of these bodies?
Meaning if we just bought the engine?
I'd buy the whole ship on principle, but sure. What
would an
he's going to
engine- how
charge us
long-
40,000 for the whole engine.
Yeah. How long would an engine replacement take?
at least a couple days, especially if you're doing it by yourself.
just me.
Yeah,
Best I could do. Be 3 days.
maybe
Maybe a
if you could get if you like paid talent to help you, which you probably would do, you could get done in a single day. If you had the body to replace it in. But you could also, in a similar amount of time, get the frame looking moderately okay. Just with like the investment in the parts for it.
All right. All right. That I think that's taking too long. If we buy the racer, will it get us to Killfell?
Yes.
Great. Let's do that. I think speed is the most important thing. The Leviathan is slow. Like, it would be nice to be stealthy in a one-of-the-kind military thing.
Yes.
I think Zed likes the romanticism of taking a military contest loser into the rebellion, but and it could afford 110,000 with Asta's 6.
Yeah,
But like,
you would be broke after that, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be harder to get.
yeah,
money
I
in
don't have
Showfell.
infinite access to these
Yeah.
funds. When we get back to the race, to the junkyard, Zed does want to say to Talon, look, I like the story of the racer. It reminds me of myself. I'm older in my career. It deserves a second chance. Look, I've been broken because of some people filming me in my worst moments as well. So, like, but I can't do 40. How about 37? Today. We'll fly it out of here once we get fuel.
Make a persuasion check. You're really good at this, so not that
Flash
good.
genius. Flash genius.
Doesn't that?
Thanks.
Can you use that on anybody?
Yeah.
Flash of
It's-
Genius
it's-
is great. I was looking at it last
it's
week.
fucking
Thought that had to be a thing that
Yeah.
you did for some
You
reason.
or another creature makes an ability
Oh,
check or
yeah.
a saving throw.
Okay.
+5.
All right, 23. He like paused for a minute. He's like, "Well, yeah, okay, but you gotta buy the fuel for me."
Fine.
Sure. We probably were going to anyway, but yes.
He'll nod.
How much is the
Um,
fuel?
It's the dirtiest fuel imaginable. We're in a junkyard.
Terrible.
He's
terrible.
wringing it out of
Melting
his own
black
clothes.
smoke.
No, it's actually like the most pure fuel you've ever seen specifically for this racing engine. That he brings it out and he says like, you can't use the cheap stuff. It will break. I want you to know that. Don't cheap out on the fuel. All right.
Never
He
do.
like gives you a very serious look. He will fill up the tank for you. You hand over the gill. He will like fish out the keys and like a title and hand those over to you. He said, "Well, good luck with it. I hope it treats you better than its last owners treated it."
I treat my ships well.
How much was the fuel?
To like top it up, which was more than enough to get you to Killfell, it'll be 1,000 gil.
I will give him 40,000 anyway. But just on because so it's out of the gem
On
money.
principle. Yeah.
But on principle, Zonk got a dip. And then as soon as it's ready to go, I think while Zonk's filling out the title and whatever, he does suggest that Asta like wander around and look to see if there's anything in the junkyard that would be beneficial. You said the cockpit is trashed, so like even a new steering like thing.
Sure, go ahead and make an
Yeah.
investigation check.
And you can figure yourself out.
I'm gonna flash genius myself on that because that's bad.
I can't help you either because I'm doing my own stuff.
To make
that
it a
makes
14.
A 14. Okay.
At least be not total shit.
Yeah, you're peeking around for a while. This guy has a lot of stuff, so you're like picking through rust, and you're like about to give up, and you're like, well, no, hold on, let me check over there because you think you see some stuff that maybe could be. It looks in like slightly better, decent shape.
Mhm.
As you head over there, and you take some tarps off of various things with a 14, I will say that you do find a new, fairly fresh, maybe could use like some conditioning.
New gasket.
But there are leather seats that should be compatible with the thing, and you won't be sitting on springs.
Yep,
So,
I'll take that. Haul it up.
New leather seats for the cockpit. Not for the living quarters, unfortunately, but spruce it up quite. And he'll sell those to you for just a couple $100.
Yeah, I'll just buy that myself.
Well, let's assume it's
I guess-
covered in
oh,
the
no, it goes-
2,000
yeah,
gil
for the
tip
40, yeah.
I'm adding.
Yeah, the tip.
That's fair. That's fair.
Keep the math easy.
And then I'll go out and get like some generic supplies and stuff, some like extra weight blankets while the things are getting installed, so that the shit beds that we're sleeping on at least have like blankets that we can like use as padding.
You guys pick this up, and then are you just gonna fly out to where everybody else is?
Actually, Zed will say to Asta,
Let's just ditch him.
yeah, let's go start my minor league career. I didn't actually get offered that job, but I can just talk my way into it. No, he's like Silas was going to contact me later, so why don't we take the opportunity to, I don't know, eat some good food while we're here?
Yeah. Do it.
We'll go to a
Cook a
restaurant,
meal.
and I'll get good food for the others. I'll get some premium fruit leather fat. It's actually all meat. That's the shocking thing. It's all meat.
So it's just jerky.
It's
So
fruit,
turkey.
but it's somehow no. I get some premium fruit leather for Agatha. I'll get Roscoe something Roscoe likes. I'll get Silas an apple because he's a teacher. I don't know.
How nice of a restaurant do you go to?
The kind of restaurant you'd go to if you were celebrating signing for a minor league moonball team that plays in whatever league.
And I will happily cast this
Ogrio
guy's
plays for.
self again to look not like my probably pretty dirty mechanics clothes. After working on the ship all day.
You spend some gil on this very nice restaurant. As you are dining in it, it's filled with imperial bigwigs of various different kinds of stripes. Damask is not the largest city in the empire, but it is a fairly important one. Just a present reminder of where you are as these people are chuckling, laughing it up. While you know that you and your fellows are
In the woods.
in the woods, yes, living it. And other resistance members are maybe doing battle right now. But you still enjoy the food. You still enjoy the night. Was Silas going to contact you with something other than just like, hey, we're ready, or what was the?
No, it was just keeping in touch, and then if I
Okay.
didn't respond, dead. But Zed will respond, saying, "Stay where Asta left you. We'll be there." Zed will have worked out with Asta how long it will take to fly there. before the
Mhm.
training happens.
Yeah, it'll be very quickly.
We'll be there in 15 minutes.
Excellent. Silas will direct the others to break camp and to be ready to take a swift exit just in case.
I actually want to cut back a little bit. What have you guys been sitting at camp the whole time? Like, kumbaya?
We managed to find a random wandering Esper that's a side mission in this thing.
You pick up, oh, you just got your Jimbo now. Okay.
They can't afford your Jimbo.
Yeah, you're broke. I'm sorry. He just leaves.
This Yojimbo takes fruit leather.
Fortunately, you're out of fruit leather. I think canonically that's been established.
Mm-hmm.
Devastating. Silas would have, taken the opportunity to pull Miss Locke into a training session that is, subtly disguised as a way to to kind of monitor how Agatha is feeling after the civilians that died on the train, right? So it's one of those things where Silas is giving Agatha a lot of ways to let out frustration, and then watching carefully to see if that if the exercise becomes frustration or fury or grief, that kind of thing.
Sure. Do you want to insight roll like an insight check or something on that?
Sure.
Oof.
Silas is way too tired, has no idea what's going on in Agatha's head.
Okay, I had set an internal DC of 10 for this. Yeah, Agatha goes through the motions. I is a little surlier than normal. But is doing as instructed, is not pushing back against Silas in any way.
So Agatha isn't pushing back against Silas in any way. Can I insight that?
I was gonna say, actually, that's its own.
Wait a minute.
Silas is too delighted to question it.
That's hilarious.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, so Agatha is doing what she is told. Her heart isn't really in it though. She's good enough at a lot of these movements and the sort of exercises that Silas will put her through, that she can kind of vanish into herself a little bit and just do it from rote muscle memory. But it is a little bit half-assed. She's not trying her hardest, and she is clearly very much somewhere not in the present moment right now.
What is the type of training that Silas and Agatha do?
Silas usually will keep dueling a little bit less frequent, and sometimes does things that are so for Agatha it's dexterity training, right? Target shots, combat maneuvers, right? Quickly darting in and out of trees, that kind of thing. We'll do a thing where he'll target Agatha and charge her with avoiding him. That kind of thing. So a lot of stuff that is just really focused on training Agatha as a stealthy ambush fighter.
And the dueling part of it, do you have your own rapier to practice with?
This time no, because we're no longer on the school property, so Silas is using the rifle as a bit of a club.
Agatha, do you still have your other rapier?
No, I left
Okay. Oh yeah,
I left that with y'all.
Then partially fueled by the fact that Roscoe can only be survival man Roscoe for a set amount of time before he gets bored. Uh, the third set of logs that he's ripped in half with his hands is enough. So when it gets to where it looks like there's a dueling portion, if Silas is okay with it, Roscoe would offer to step in as a training partner.
Silas absolutely just kind of tilts his head over at Roscoe, and like he smiles a little bit, but he is definitely kind of holding back a larger grin. I think mostly because, as we have established, Agatha is uh his student, the student that he has put up with despite a whole lot of frustration. And so it's just really nice to have another adult be like, "Oh yes, I'll work with this like student," uh, because he does genuinely enjoy Agatha, but has been frustrated with colleagues, right? So it's like that moment of wonderful, I have a partner in this, and he will just bow out and absolutely goes over and sits down to watch and he won't say anything during it, but he is actually just quietly logging everything that goes on. But he does make a big production of just getting to relax. Sits himself out on a one of the logs that you've broken, like it's a full recliner. Crosses his ankles, adjusts his shirt so that he can just kind of bask.
And Roscoe will proceed to train with Agatha, which he will ramp up as he feels is necessary. If it seems like Agatha still isn't there with just normal punches and blocks and stuff like that, he will begin to switch in guarding and reckless attacks. If it still seems like Agatha isn't fully there, when she tries to back away, he will begin to initiate his Sentinel ability to stop her from being able to back away. If it still doesn't seem like it's going well enough for that, he will enter trance.
Nice.
Great.
Yeah. Silas just watches with a slowly growing smirk. Just, oh man, this is great.
So the Agatha is not necessarily moving with less efficiency or not. She's not half-assing anything, right? But there's a level of economy of motion and efficiency that you are not used to with Agatha, because normally what she is doing is she's, especially with Roscoe, the interactions that you've gotten used to are haunting and part of the I'm being sneaky and misdirecting is Agatha going "Meh," and then jumping in a different direction. And it's none of that. It's very, very cut and dry. In fact, the form is quite good in a way that I don't think Silas has seen Agatha's form be good in a while. Every so often when she after you reckless and do whatever hard hitting this, that, or the other that you do, if she gets an opportunity, I think that gives me an opportunity for a sneak attack to be able to do that. Which she will do, and that'll be when she starts backing off. Anytime that she hits a sneak attack on you, she will take a step back to trigger that sentinel. And after that pattern happens a couple of times, I do think she just throws down the rapier and goes, "I'm fucking done. Okay. Good job. I want to go sit down. I want to sit down. I don't want to fight."
Roscoe will move a hand and gesture at a pile of logs that Silas is already currently sitting on.
Silas has taken this moment to very deliberately look kind of toward in another direction and kind of let his gaze go glazed and sleepy and very much teacher has tuned out. He's got a little bit of a he's got the a cap pulled it low over his eyes. He's not a great actor, but it's just very much the way that he would sometimes get in his office where he's like, I'm letting you do your thing right now.
Yeah, but Agatha will like pick a rock, but slump over and sit to wherever Roscoe has directed her to sit, presumably by Silas.
Silas does like at that level of acquiescence. Silas does like the hat shifts a little, but he like quickly goes back to his like letting Roscoe play it out sort of thing, trying not to be too conscious looking.
All right, now you're sitting. What's next?
I don't know. We wait. What do you think is next? We've got nothing to do right now.
I mean, in the grandest scheme of things, we are waiting for, obviously, Asta and Zed to return. If you mean right this minute, I've been waiting for a while. I've seen you fight. That was shit.
Yeah. I mean, fuck you, Roscoe.
Okay, we're getting back to some normalcy here. Is there any other... My hair is down. I've had a twig in it earlier today. Want to point that out?
I
tried to get a punch in earlier. I tripped and hurt my toe really bad.
mean, what are you looking for from me?
You've been gone.
I mean, it's not. It's not like I'm. I don't know. People died. People died, and I don't know. I was there, and it was. I still. It's my. It was my. It's our fault, and it's my fault, and so maybe I shouldn't. That could have been my dad on there, you know.
Could be your dad that gets busted up if he says the wrong thing with the Empire in charge. Somebody's dad that got evicted because the Empire wanted to build a new factory to find more efficient ways to kill folk.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's why. I mean, there's so many fucking people who didn't fucking sign up for this, and like are maybe happy or maybe pissed that we've got this imperial fuck force, you know, throwing the hammer down and whatever, but they didn't sign up to be in this fucking conflict. I just how do we keep people safe?
Right? No one on that train planned to be a part of that. They shouldn't have been. I think that's the more important point. They shouldn't have been, but they were. Not because of our action or inaction. They were involved because the Empire chose to involve them. And if we want to stop that from happening in other places, because it's not just us. I don't need to tell you that the Empire has a laundry list of similar incidents, brushed over or not, where civilian collateral has just been a number. It'll happen if we're there or not, in places that we're not. And if that ever is going to change, the change needs to come first. And it's not going to happen without a fight.
Hey, kid, it's not like the people who are signing up for this really signed up for this. A lot of them were driven to the last resort. Or they're just damn fool children who are going off to fight wars they have no business fighting.
I don't want to go home yet.
That's good because you can't.
Do you think we are going to go home at some point, though?
I think Silas kind of cants his eyes just a little bit to see where Agatha's looking, and if she's not looking directly at him, he looks at Roscoe with just this kind of a faint like grimace, and then he says, "We'll get you home."
Okay.
Home is where you want to be at the end of this. I'm sure.
I think Agatha is once again sort of like staring off like at the like grass in front of us, isn't making eye contact. At some point had like pulled her hoodie up, but is like pushed it back.
They don't have food.
Agatha's canonically out of fruit leather.
I think Silas probably still has some like granola-esque stuff from the last
Yeah, this plan didn't really include how you guys were. I guess you're just planning on starving for like a bit.
Oh, I still have my trail mix though.
Do you still have trail mix? Yeah.
I do.
But that's like the amount of trail mix that you consider a lot is like a couple handfuls for Roscoe.
What is the role required for Roscoe to run down some wild animal?
Make an athletics check, and I think to run down on foot a wild animal, I think I need you to get at least a 25.
I ran. Didn't need to roll for advantage, but didn't matter.
You dash off after some kind of strange It is. It kind of is. I want to say it's somewhere between like a boar and say an anteater. So it's like a little bit more squat than an anteater, but it has like the long front appendage type thing and like tusks as well. And you like, but it's like just darting in and out behind like between trees in ways that you just can't possibly hope to catch up with. And you're reminded why humans don't hunt with their bare hands.
It's worth a try.
You could ask your companions who you know have like weapons to help you.
Yeah, I think at some point Roscoe comes back. It's like, it's not working out.
Silas just looks at you with both brows raised and says, "I thought you were just practicing your sprints." But yeah, we'll hand you a light cross.
Do you not canonically have a rifle?
I do.
Yeah, but I'm not giving that to Roscoe.
I will give it to Roscoe. I'm just Silas is just kind of like sitting there with a rifle next to him, handing the light crossbow over, just kind of smirking a little. Just
Do you have bullets for that? I've just seen you bash people with it.
Actually, I have a full loadout, and he will pass over the entirety of the ammunition that has been in his pocket next to his stapler all this time.
It's been a very long time since Roscoe fired a gun, but he'll try to use that instead.
Go ahead and make me a. I probably should have had you make this before, but I thought it was funnier to see you fail to run down an animal. Can you make me a survival check? I think
it's funny that they.
It's an animal. It's so not hard to hit. It's just hard to get close to get a good shot on.
Yes.
They were
-1
comfortable
survival.
around. And then Roscoe started trying to run them down, and now animals.
13. I will say on a 13 that it takes you the better part of a day, but you do eventually manage to bag one rab elk for your dining consumption. You have no spices or anything to add to this, but you can cook it over an open flame.
At least also find some like berries
As
that don't look like they're going to kill me.
Yeah, they don't look like they're going to kill you. That's the problem.
That's all Roscoe's worried
they're
about.
gonna kill you.
Just the visual. He's looking for the brightest.
Yeah.
The most juicy looking reddest fruit that they have.
great, good.
So
Did
ring-
you
I
know
was not
that
eating
a lot of-
any berries that you bring back.
Yeah. Did you know that it's safe to do a nibble and spit test with fungus? Many different funguses, but you can't do that with berries. You nibble it, it doesn't matter if you spit.
Agatha's not eating anything that Roscoe forages. And I would be saying that even if you got a nat 20 on that check, Agatha will not be doing that.
What? Can you just do the rub test? Why are you eating it then spitting it? Is that
Well,
not very effective?
Certain funguses look like others, and so you can distinguish with a taste, and it won't bother. Like you won't get like in severe distress if you spit it out because it's the way that the poisonous compounds react. It's not the same.
Why not just lick it?
Who doesn't know why his companions are so uppity? If you have this berry in your mouth while you're eating this piece of meat, your mouth is tingly.
Anyway, Roscoe brings back a small full of berries, I'm going to say, because I don't know what else you would be carrying them in. You have no backpack or anything.
Actually, while Roscoe is still out on his foraging adventures, like an hour after this interaction has happened,
Uh-huh.
Agatha does like slink back over to Silas in like the quiet and very quietly goes, you probably already knew this, but my dad was really, really happy about the Empire taking over Solnus. He got a promotion at his job. And thought that the order being imposed was like a really, really good thing. But I don't think he's a bad person.
Yeah, that's the problem. Silas just kind of like lifts up one like arm, in that way of you can come here for a hug if you want.
Yeah, Agatha, I think there's a beat, and then like instead of like slinking in, like it's almost like a football tackle. And it's like and then she's like buried her face into like your underarm and is like sobbing in a way that like a 16-year-old who is embarrassed to be crying only can.
Yep. Silas just kind of settles into that and kind of sighs and pats your shoulder a bit and says, watched a lot of kids run off to join one army or the other in the last few years. Sure glad I managed to run off alongside you for this one. And it just kind of settles into that quiet of feeling his like the entire like undersleeve part of his clothing just soak.
Yeah, and I think and Agatha will sit there for longer than they will admit after the fact.
Silas will offer you the Agatha's the handkerchief when she eventually surfaces, so that she can kind of clean up her face and pretend she wasn't crying, but never like looks you in the face during or after.
Yeah, and I think after taking that handkerchief and you know and cleaning up, Agatha like pulls away and like absolutely like wordlessly, the hood goes back up. She finds like a far off corner of the campsite, and I think is gonna like sit and has like pulled out like her notebooks and journals and is like writing furiously. Unclear what. I don't think she knows. Maybe it's just the same word over and over again.
Roscoe eventually returns to this point, just dumps
Yeah.
the Rabelk and the bushel of berries with the instruction with those, kind of dumping them in front of probably Silas. Probably some of these won't kill you. Not sure which ones though.
It's like
Silas
all
kinda
the berries have been jumbled in, and there's like a couple mushrooms in there as well. So it's like just a bunch of different kinds of berries. You're like, well,
Silas
Roscoe,
puts that
Roscoe
carefully
leaves
aside.
leaves it to Silas's inspection.
Yeah. Yeah. Silas puts the berries carefully aside and tends to the meat because it's fairly confident in meat. And we'll just, spend the rest of that time trimming it up, getting the fire set, and then once
Yeah.
it's like properly fallen dark, alerts everyone and sets like after Agatha's had like a good hour to sulk, we'll sit there, we'll kind of look over and give her like a specific job of I don't think he's going to actually allow her to handle the berries. He really hated that. But some of them might not kill you. But he will like ask her to tend the meat, like to turn the spit, etc., things like that.
Yeah, and as an indication that Agatha is doing better, she makes a face and goes ugh, and we'll start tending to the meat, but is muttering about like the benefits and like the moral imperative of vegetarianism.
Yeah, this is like it's like probably a 75-pound creature, you know, alive. Obviously, if you were gonna skin it, take all the nasty bits out, and etc. But it does cook up fairly well. You know, for game, it is on the fattier side. Roscoe, do you partake of your berries?
If Silas has cordoned off any that are like safe, then Roscoe will. Roscoe may not know what berries are safe to eat, but he is smart enough to have been gotten in trouble multiple times in his childhood for it already.
Yeah. I mean, Silas isn't from this area and doesn't have a guide for this area.
Yeah, you could make a nature check just to kind of go off prior knowledge of what looks like it might be good or not.
No, I think the wisdom here is that you don't attempt it.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah, I think Silas says to Roscoe, we should use these to bait traps. If you catch a mammal, then it's probably all right. But never camped in this region with any of the nobles who get up to that.
Saying is that if we surround our campsite with these, if they're poison, we keep animals away. If it's not, then we lure like a bear.
I don't think it would be that effective as a poison. But birds will eat anything. Fish, lizards. But the closer it is to like you and I, the more likely we could digest it. But it's not a gesture that the 75-pound or remainder of 75 pounds of meat, that we won't live or die without eating these berries. We might die by eating these berries.
Yeah, Roscoe will shrug.
I think on that
I did my Roscoe best.
You eat the and
All these
pass the night.
are having a fucking 5-course dinner at a fancy restaurant.
Yep.
Agatha is eating trail mix.
Agatha eats
she will
trail
not.
mix. While the sizzling meat smells quite pleasant.
Unseasoned
Or unpleasant.
gamey meat.
It's not too long the next day before the other two come, and you have to kind of find a decent spot to land. But the three of you see that they have indeed bought an airship. It looks like a piece of shit.
Ew.
It's like somebody crashed it like face first into a wall and then let it sit in a junkyard for months, apart from like, you know, taking it out to get filmed for a video.
I think if it,
where some explosions happened around it.
Okay, I didn't in my head. I didn't think it looked that bad. In my head, I think it looked that bad. If it looks,
the feet is more missing chunks of like the stuffing, and that springs coming out of them, and all the instrumentation panels were bad. Like I feel like I described it as pretty beat up.
I genuinely thought that if we ever needed to, we could hide in an airship graveyard.
You probably could.
Well, I think there's a moment where we see the ship, where Roscoe and Silas and Agatha are standing there, were to no one in particular, Roscoe will just ask, "They land? Are they landing or are they crashing again?"
Looks like
Yay.
he might have. Silas kind of like shifts his head back and forth and says, "It's certainly and just steps a little further out of the way for the landing."
I missed the pleasure yacht.
I feel like we've overcorrected.
I'm
Zed is, as we land and are waiting for them to come over because they're like some distance away. Zed is like to Agatha, well, thank you for taking the risk of coming into the city and helping me find an airship.
Of course.
There's also like just a huge pile of like the Final Fantasy equivalent of takeaway Chinese food.
Yeah.
But like expensive takeaway Chinese food, which now you will get none of for your slides towards the airship.
Silas.
How much you want to bet they think we bought the shittiest airship imaginable?
Well, I know you only have 6,000, and I wouldn't ever bet on what the three people think.
Fair enough.
Also,
it's gonna
betting
take his,
betting 6,000 gil is like, what's even the point? What can you even buy with 6,000 gil? That very
I
rarely
don't
flexes
like-
in richness.
This attitude.
Yeah, as the three of you come aboard, it is just as bad on the inside. The chairs in the cockpit are quite nice, actually.
For me.
Yeah, that's the important thing. The person flying has to be comfortable.
So was everything just like upscaled price or something? Like what happened?
We bought
This
the fastest ship, which is what we were going to do.
this little rust bucket has a racing engine in it. It is the fastest of the other options available, regardless of the exterior.
well, buying from a junkyard probably doesn't draw as much attention as buying from a shipyard. Silas tries to like pat something affectionately of like, this is going to be a good ship that takes us places, and it just falls off under his hand, and he just lets him take it.
Your fingers come away coated with powder.
For my own mental notes, is this airship, is it like so bad that like, hey, I want to turn on a light, and so you pull the little string, or is it, hey, I want to turn on a light, let me hit these two wires together?
I would
Like a
say
scale of
string, not wires. It's not.
It's not completely
quite
trash.
that
It's
bad.
just mostly
Yeah.
this has been sitting in a junkyard, so the exterior is a little bad.
That's great.
Give me a
scale.
day, maybe 2. I will make it so we don't get tetanus.
Oh, we can fly
yeah.
back, and you can sell. You can try and sell this back to the lovely gentleman at the junkyard, and then
No, it'll get us there. It's fine. Like I said, it's fast.
How about the rest of us handle the tetanus part? We can, I don't know, paint things, scrub things, and you can handle the.
Do either of you want to smoke?
Does
Rabbit
painting
Punch?
prevent tetanus?
Well, painting
Uh,
covers
no.
surfaces that you would catch rust from, which prevents tetanus.
I can feel side-eyeing you.
There's
Dude,
some
I don't
extra
think this
repairs
is
that need to happen
true.
that I have to do, but let's just
Roscoe is offering
underway.
the two new companions if they want a smoked rabilk haunch.
A what?
Zed points to like where there's a bunch of food boxes. I brought you some food. It's not the most expensive food I could find in the entire city. So if you don't want to eat it for that reason, that's all. But it's the food that's here.
I see the point you're trying to make. I understand. Thank you for the food. And then he will walk. He won't throw away the Rabel conch. He'll take it as like a side. It's protein.
But
But yes, we take off
Yes.
the Kilfell.
All
But
right,
yeah,
as
and
this
Silas
happens,
does set to cleaning.
you take off. I will kind of assume that you also bought like in addition to the fancy food, enough supplies to get there. This ship's really fast if you're like just pushing it at cruising speed. It's only going to take you like 3 days to get there, as opposed to most airships would probably spend about almost a week, not quite, to make that journey. If you were on like a passenger ship, I think I had said it was going to be about a week. So this is significantly faster. That being said, it's not very comfortable. Asa, can you make me a Tinker's Tools check? Just see how much repairing you could do in the air. I'll say with the tip, he like gave you like several buckets of paint and other things to that you could start to do some visual repairs at least.
Some extra bits and bobs, piece of metal for.
And if anybody would like to help in any shape or fashion, please tell me how you were doing that.
Well,
If there's
I will-
any like physical labor that Roscoe could help with, he'll do that.
Oh God, is there?
presumably somebody needs to fly the ship, so Silas will do that as the secondary pilot.
Yep.
I don't think this is helping. But as things start to get fixed up, Agatha is keeping an eye out for, oh, this was a junkyard find. Usually there are cool things in a junkyard. So any like interesting bits and bobs that are about to be disposed of, Agatha is going to be scrapping.
Okay, make I'll find an investigation.
Can I
or
roll
some
with
kind of-
advantage
Yes,
with
please.
Roscoe's assistance? Okay.
People were talking at the same time. Am I making a check or?
I'm thinking about what I want it to be. I think just make me a D100 roll. I don't think this is a skill-based thing. It's just about like whether you get lucky and find something particularly good.
Well, I rolled a 1 and a 2. So with
Wow.
the Flash Genius, it's going to be an 18.
Yeah. I mean, 18 is still not bad. It's not a 1.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're midair. Like you can
Dodged it.
you make it look better, but like some
I
of the
get the
biggest
most
things you
harmful
can't
problems
do.
out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah, like you tamp down exposed wires or like any bits of like the flooring or siding that are like sticking out in a dangerous fashion to make it more habitable. But you really need like a workshop, you think?
Yeah, I need to actually be able to go buy
which-
materials and stuff.
Kelfeld certainly should be able to accommodate you. Like it is a fairly technically advanced city, all things considered. I'm just gonna move everybody. Agatha, as you're looking through, there's nothing super duper interesting first that you see, and you're kind of widening, and you're starting to get to the point where like you're getting slightly disappointed. You're like, oh well. You, however, eventually, when they're like digging through things, have to find something which they're like, man, I don't really have any use for this. Not good for the ship, not good for bombs, not good for anything really. But to Agatha, you think it's super rad. I want you to tell me what it is.
I mean, I think I've started to establish that Agatha has an artistic side. What sort of like half-filled car paint bucket might be here that Agatha can like pour into like a spray paint can for her own devices?
Yeah, for sure. Like I mean, this was at one point used as a race car, so there's pretty much any colors that you could imagine, like that it could be. Anything from like very shiny, like super glittery, metallic-y paints, like a very for some reason my brain's going to like a very sparkly purple paint that you sometimes see on like lowriders, to like super sleek chrome paint, and anything in between.
I'm thinking like a neon yellow.
Mm. Not like taxi cab yellow, but like
Racing stripe lightning.
racing stripe. Okay. Yes, there is a half empty bucket of neon yellow racing stripe paint.
Excellent. That goes straight into like one of her empty spray paint canisters. And like she goes around spritzing it on surfaces that she knows is about to like get the rejiggered or trashed or whatever, to like see what the color looks like on different surfaces.
All right. As that all happens over the course of the 3 days, you eventually start to come into view. Yes.
Zed would like to talk to Roscoe at some point, but we can come back to it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do that after break. I'll finish my description, and then we'll cut the break, and then we can pick up with it. You come into view of the city, and as I said previously, it's built in a sort of like terrace formation onto the mountainside. It's not like a perfect like the lowest terrace is the biggest and like it's stacking up like a pyramid or something like that. It's a little bit more, I don't want to say random, but like slightly more organic, right? Where some of the terraces are much larger, some of them are a little bit offset and smaller, for different kinds of purposes. There's about 9 major ones that you can see. There's a couple here and there that are just like smaller, more like like some guy just built one that's like sort of off one of the main terraces. But there's 9 ones that are like distinctly large and noticeably part of the city. The 4th one up is like very clearly the largest one, and it's sort of encompasses almost like the whole width of or sort of like makes a half circle around like this mountain. That's where like a lot of these like bigger skyscrapers are, and a lot of the other terraces are sort of offset from the center of this one to accommodate for the tall buildings. You also see there's a large lift sort of running on roughly the center of this that seems to be carrying like big things up. But in addition to this, there's these they're sort of reminiscent of like the old school, they probably still use them somewhere, but the banking pneumatic tubes, but they're carrying passengers. So there's like these people walk into these things and go and just get like rocketed up, and they're not perfectly straight, all of them. They swerve around to go to these different terraces, and they're just like all flinging and flying at various different points as you're viewing this. But there is a very nice, probably on the 2nd terrace, I would think, there is a larger place to put your airship down, which is where you would want to go. And I think that's where we're gonna cut the break here, come back with the Zed Roscoe conversation, and then continue onwards. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. This is the second half of episode 16 of Infinite Fantasy. Jack, what did Zed want to tell or talk to Roscoe about?
I think so. At some point, when I mean, with as much privacy as you can get on this ship, I imagine, when like
Mhm.
Agatha and whoever's flying the ship, like Agatha and whoever's not flying the ship are like down in the hold. Like said, like finds Roscoe and just says, so how are you doing?"
Does the question come off as loaded as that sounds?
It just, I think it comes off as out of character for Zed to just be that, like, there's no like preamble, and Zed normally
Yeah.
would bother with some preamble.
I'm as good as I think we're gonna get for right now. Tired.
Zed nods and like looks over the edge of the ship for like a beat too long. Like,
Yeah.
like,
At the
and then
beat,
like,
Roscoe. And you holding up?
yeah, tired as well. He kind of looks over towards the cockpit, wherever somebody's flying, and he says, "Ugh, I'm not used to. Well, I mean, I was always moving, delivering messages, but this feels like that was always moving and walking and riding. This feels like being swept by a river for weeks on end."
There's not really been a chance to rest.
Yeah. Or to evaluate the end goals of what we're doing.
Yeah, we kind of just obviously there a number of them are, and kind of like taps his chest, just kind of like they're part of us. But we kind of jumped into this, in my opinion, in they're the enemy of our enemy type of mindset. That helping them would not benefit the Empire, so it's worth us doing.
Yeah. But where does this end? Raising the Empire to ash? And definitely Roscoe can tell that, like, Zed chose the fire imagery specifically. Like,
Yeah. I think it ends not with us.
that feels worse somehow.
Roscoe doesn't really argue about that. He just kind of nods and like, yeah.
Maybe we'll find this Esper, find the next Esper, find the chairman of the Magitech division, find out that he was pulling strings, and that punch on the nose will make the Empire go back into their shell for a millennia.
You think a punch on the nose is enough reason for all this?
It is if it stops places like your home being taken over and people being killed. But it comes at the cost of Imperial citizens being killed. I suspect the Espers are not going to be any more judicious based on the ones that we've met.
Well, you were in the city during this. We had a small bit of time to think a bit. Let things settle in the forest. Agatha asked if they would get to go home after this.
I hope they
Bothered
do.
me. I do too. It bothered me that I couldn't give a straightforward answer. Because, I mean, I can't answer for you, but I don't know for myself.
Well,
And again, that's not necessarily been in the cards for a while.
if we succeed, my home doesn't exist anymore. But I knew that however many years ago this started, 15, it's been too long.
You plan to find a new one?
I didn't really plan to make it to the end. But given that things are changing, we'll see what happens. We'll see who's left. I do hope that there's a head of the snake that we can cut off. And if we have to keep cutting from one head to the next, eventually it stops. And there'll be some empire left. Because despite all of this, and he kind of gestures to everyone.
Yeah.
I don't hate the land that was my home. Or the people. Well, I hate some of the people. And my dad's kind of the worst. Like, tilts his head back.
Well, it was impressed my mother. They'd be willing to adopt you. They have a open slot for a child.
I truly do not have the punching capability to be adopted into your family.
Roscoe would just look down at your arm as if like appraising for a moment and then just
I get beaten up by your older brother and your sister. And while your sister might be fun, not regularly enough.
I hope there is enough left at the end of this for you.
Zed, I think Zed smiles in a way that, like, the openness kind of has dropped away and is, like, shielded behind that smile now. Yeah, me too. But also, and he kind of taps in. There's an element of mockery in the way that he taps his chest that it's too similar to how you did it. He
Yeah.
says, I don't really feel the Esper thing properly either, so maybe I won't make it to the end. But if I don't, you have to look after the other three. You will be the parent, because Silas is the grandparent.
You probably just haven't found the right one yet. I'm surprised with Shiva, as they seem to be all up in their own beauty standards, and that's, well, kind of gestures at you.
No, just this mask. You should have met Zonk. Zonk's not like that. I mean, actually, yes, he is. Zale wasn't. He was a deeply boring man. I had good inspiration
Yeah.
for him.
And if I'm to look out for the others, you are also included. Whether you
Sure,
want to
of
be or
course.
not. Yeah,
No,
or
I mean,
just
if
free.
the chips
Yeah.
are down, you should protect me. I'm the most important. I'm the strategic asset. But you protect me, the person with money in the bank, or the teacher?
Also my friend.
Hmm. Well, I appreciate that.
You should.
And
It's
hey,
inclusive
look.
company. It's you and Mongogo.
So think about it for a second. I did buy a Moogle Pride Moonball. It's around here somewhere. But he kind of looks at Roscoe and like puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "Well, I'm honored. I like this version of Roscoe that doesn't have to worry about the cover."
It's been nice. I haven't missed for punching people. That's been something at least.
Well, we'll find some new scientists for you to punch soon as well.
It was like twice. I keep bringing up the scientist thing.
But it was a lot each time. It wasn't one scientist and then one scientist. Maybe one day things will be good enough that I don't need to be using a cover anymore, and we'll see if the real me and the real Roscoe are friends.
I was like, we need to get to the end of this then.
I've only got so many personalities to burn. He like reaches into a pocket and pulls out literally like a pile of like 12 different identities, and then puts them back in his pocket. Zonk might still be okay.
That's
He's
true.
going to be a big ball player in Obrio. Jack was too far zoomed out to read it.
Yeah, I meant to ask earlier. I'm assuming there's probably a reason, but should we have not considered maybe flying to the mountains first instead of just to Killfill? Or is it to supply?
As Jack, there is a reason that I don't remember, but Zed would remember it. Let me check my notes. Hang on. I have notes for this. Oh, because Zed says, well, there's a big resistance presence in Killfell. But I also think they deserve to know that we're going to be in their land if we're traceable by the Empire.
That's fair.
And they might have some experts on the pillars that we can glean information from.
Yeah, experts would be nice. We've kind of just been stumbling along from one expert to the next, which has been surprisingly straightforward.
Yeah. I think it makes more sense knowing that the Empire could track us. Maybe they wanted us to recover Shiva, and then they'd collect us for their experiments. He shrugs and says, "Anyway, the journey continues, and
So
I
if you
like
are
this
going to-
ship."
It's okay, but if you are going to be Esper bonded to something, is it going to be like the? Are you going to turn into like a snake? Are you going to be the Leviathan? Because it was weird.
think that
You were
would be
kind of up. You
confusing.
were kind of further up on a cliff when it happened, but I full turned into Ifrit for a moment, like perspective change and everything. So like, you would feel like you were a giant snake if you did that.
I don't like that. I would like to be on record as not liking the concept of being a giant snake. Maybe some kind of bird. But who knows? We'll find an Esper one day that I feel a connection that sounds like what you have felt with the others. But well, he kind of if they were like leaning on the railing so he could look over, he kind of like pushes himself away and stops looking over the edge and says, anyway, Killpool will be fun. At least you won't be seeing Imperial soldiers everywhere."
That would be a nice change. I did have to give up my Hawaiian shirt.
You can maybe buy one here. I'll buy you one.
Roscoe will just give it like a point finger, like I'm holding you to that.
Zed just nods. Says, I feel like potentially everybody's pretty low on money, so I will facilitate what people need. Although Asta has enough to fix up the ship from the gems I sold.
Oh, so the plan is to keep this, not crash it in a forest and assume that it's.
If you cared about the family ship being crashed, you should have mentioned it before Asta agreed to crash it.
I didn't care when I thought it had a point. Retroactively, I kind of care a little bit. Like,
Oh, okay. Well, when one of the Espers gives me the ability to travel through time, I'll go back and tell us that we were being tracked for our Esper use. That was you doing it. Certainly, it's not me using my Espers. I stand by it as an idea. But this one's quicker anyway. And we all have to make sacrifices. And your family ship was one of them. An important sacrifice.
Roscoe will wipe it off. He doesn't look like he's that serious about it.
Zed doesn't look like he'd care if Roscoe was that serious. Ugh. All right. I need to continue pretending to be airsick. It's an important part of this character.
Where did that drop?
I got on the airship as Zonk, so it kind of didn't factor into my thinking until now. Look, you gotta. These masks are made up of all of these little things. Very important. I'm gonna go talk to Asta. He just like walks off and doesn't go talk to Asta. But this is enough.
Be able to stay outside, wherever the rail is, and just think for a moment back to his not as comfy but slightly more comfy private yacht bed. And we'll head inside.
It was the resistance was the reason that we were going to kill Fel first, right? Even though it was partly that we were taking a passenger ship as well. Right?
Andrew, you're muted.
I think the main reason was that you were taking a passenger ship, but that was part of it. However, I will
think...
also say you do know, and Asta would be able to inform you this, even if she doesn't know that much about the place, is that around the pillars, people tend to go around them on airships because like the weather there tends to be bad. So you'll have to fly close, land, and then walk. So you'll probably want some supplies for that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And knowing the Empire is going to chase us, it's good for Killfall to know.
Yep.
I don't have anything else to do.
Okay. Okay, cool. So you all, jumping back forward a little bit to where you're landing. So the ship is coming down in the second terrace of the city. This is kind of like a little bit more commercial. Got some of the warehouses, the docking yards here and stuff. And it is far enough from everything else to not affect them by the noise. You quickly dock. There's like a small fee, like probably gonna end up costing you like 50 gil or something like that. We'll say 50 gil. There's a Moogle that you talk to who will kind of direct you to the landing pad and will kind of say at the end. So you're having this back and forth with the Moogle for a bit, and like when you're getting ready to click off, they're gonna say, by the way, any rust dust that you leave will have to be cleaned up on the pad before you leave.
Obviously.
And if you would like to make use of our wonderful airship repair services, we'll even give you a special discount. You look like you need it, Kupo.
Won't say no to discount.
Well, we'll click off. You land and begin to disembark, and it's very obvious. Probably none of you have been here before. Maybe I could see Silas having come here at some point, but there aren't a lot of like noble assholes to teach. Although there is a very good school here. The first thing that all of you notice is that unlike pretty much anywhere else, it's closer to like 40-60 Moogle human breakdown. Most places you see it's like anywhere from like 0 to 5% of the population is composed of Mughals. This is like a Mughal city that humans have moved into and sort of integrated with. So there's a lot of these fluffy creatures, some of them walking next to companions, some of them like flying about, like, buzzing here and there as you are going throughout the city. What are you all looking for first? Like, what would the first stop be after you've like landed and done all the administrative things?
Zed would. Do I know a way to contact like any resistance sympathizers here?
You might want to send a message back home, because again, like, you do a lot of undercover work, whereas like this would be more in the open.
I will.
Let's make a history check if you like.
If it's more of like an open thing, that would, if it would line up to what Roscoe's old work used to be, would Roscoe have any implication?
You might, if you want to like know somebody who is in Kilfell, I would allow that. It's like you explain what resistance work you did that would help you to know this person.
I meant more just like to help get the information, like basically if I could help with like getting advantage, like for Zed.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. I'll let you give it Zed.
Just since from the sounds of it, it would line up more to what type of work Roscoe was kind of doing.
Still 25.
Okay. $25 is pretty good. So this is not a person you have met, but you remember reading from some of from like Thrissa's paperwork and stuff, maybe having overheard conversations, etc. You know that there is a Mughal who lives in the city who is kind of part of the like their sort of intelligence agency, the like their security directorate. Their name is they go by Momo.
Okay.
And you know that they typically work out of the like a workshop here on the 5th terrace. But like I said, you've never met them. You've probably seen a picture before, but you know that they're like well placed, sort of higher up, and they liaison between the two, like your resistance cell and some of the bigger resistance cells that they back, and the government in an undercover fashion. So they'll travel to the Empire on occasion to, make these deals as like an undercover agent for the Carantine Republic.
So when Zed is operating in his actual role as a messenger and is delivering a message for Thrissa or anybody really, does it work that he is most often delivering a verbal message that has like a code word, or does he deliver like written messages that are like in ciphers?
Usually it can be both. It depends on how long the message is and like who you're delivering it to. But you definitely have to do verbal messages with code words before.
Okay. Zed will approach the nearest teacher from Solness and ask Silas.
It's actually over another guy.
Can you-
Yeah.
Yeah, Zed knows a lot of teachers from Solus. No. So Silas, would you be able to send a message to Thrissa for me?
Silas just gives a quick nod. Can't be too long, but I can send a message and hear her reply.
Just tell her I need the current code phrase for a message to Momo in Kilfell.
Is the way sending works that like she's definitely going to know that it's Silas and that she's met Silas, or
Yeah.
does,
I mean, it'll be your voice, and you guys are doing. You would have kind of set this up a little bit beforehand with like the understanding, because again, in the way this world works, spells, at least the stuff that you're doing, tend to be in like encryptive formats. You have to like weave the spells in certain ways.
all right.
Oh, and you can tell her it's Ray's, in case she for some reason forgets.
Silas kind of chuckles and will send that exact message to. Well, first off, Silas takes a moment to think of what time it is in Solness.
Not
At
relevant.
the same time,
They're
they're in Valord, but
Valord.
it's roughly speaking the same time.
Yeah, not Solness, but yeah, okay. Then yeah, Silas sends the message.
And even in Solness, it's like an hour difference, maybe. Okay. I forget the sending. Did they get a reply? No.
Yes, they do.
They do get a reply. Sending
Yeah,
is a
they
25-word one,
Yeah, it's the leveled one.
the big one.
It's
Okay.
not. Yeah, it's not message.
Big, quote unquote. Okay. They get the message. They ping back. Thursa will say, received. Kilfell. I thought you guys went north. I'll do the arrangements.
Silas relays that. So she didn't sound particularly upset, just surprised.
Zed chuckled and says, so to be clear, she didn't give you a code word for me to give to Momo.
She
They have
said
to wait.
Yeah, no, she'll need to make arrangements. So presumably,
Right. Can you check with her tomorrow for me?
yes, I can likely check. tomorrow.
They'll probably send you something later. Although if they don't, you can message them.
I guess I know
They
that they
have
also
that.
have
They have that
encrypted
capability.
symbols.
Yeah.
Zed, thank you. That will make me feel better about the Leviathan entering the territory of this kingdom. Truly never remember anything. The Carantine Republic. I look at the other three who hopefully have been doing something useful while Silas have been in casting spells.
I think Roscoe would have looked for like the nearest person that looked like Sumuba City, the storage. There's probably some variation of like a city guard or something of that nature.
They have. This is a little bit more developed. They have like,
Police.
police forces. They have a security force, as well as like investigative, divisions within that. It's not just all, the city guard.
Is there
Why
anyone
do you
around?
ask?
Is there anyone around, like the ports that is of that. Mostly because Roscoe
Yeah.
would look for someone who their job is to walk around the city and generally ask just directional information of like, hey, where
Okay,
typically
yeah.
are like inns found and like stuff like that.
There's so actually there is a plainclothes there is like an information desk as well.
Then Roscoe will probably go to the information desk.
There is whichever you want to approach. There's a Moogle and a human, like manning opposite ends of this desk as like people are walking by.
Do they seem
The
like they're
Moogle's
looking
on
for
like a
jobs?
really tall chair. No, it's just like they're both waiting for somebody to approach them with a question, kind of thing.
Or Roscoe goes to the Moogle.
The Moogle will say, "Welcome to Killfell. How can I help you today, Kubo?"
Yes, me and my companions just arrived. Most of us anyway, are new to the city, and the ones that have, they've not been here in quite some time. We're just trying to figure out where we would be staying. Do you have any recommendations on affordable places or just kind of a general direction that most of hotels and such are?
I kind of think for a moment. They said, "Well, a little bit depends on why you're staying in the city, but generally speaking, you're gonna have the easiest time finding a place to stay on the 4th terrace. There's some really nice places near the Hanging Gardens, but if you want, you could head closer in by the lifts. It's a little bit loud, but a little bit cheaper."
Gotcha. And then for my own curiosity, what is like the food scene here?
We are Moogle City Kupo. We have lots of different kinds of food, but if you want to know the local specialties, there's a really good place that I like. It's a little bit far. You have to go all the way to the 7th terrace. It's across the way on the rim, eastern side, but there's a really good noodle shop.
Interesting. You also wouldn't happen to know anywhere that serves a Zarvel style dog, do you?
There is actually, we do have a gentleman that owns a Sarvale style hot doggery, Kubo. They say it is in the 5th terrace, the Maker's Quarter. I think that they used to be some kind of engineer, but they quit that job and opened up their hot dog stand outside the factory that they used to work in. And then they eventually moved to a bigger place. But some of the transplants that came over, refugees, after the Empire took over Sarviel, they made their home up there in the 5th terrace.
Interesting. Gotcha. Well, thank you. You've been a wealth of information.
Of course, that is my job. And if you need anything else, please don't hesitate to ask. If you would like, I shall hand you this card and say you can always leave a review.
Go will indeed leave a review. Glowing.
She'll also hand you a little brochure that kind of just gives a general overview of the different areas that you're more than welcome to check out. It's very much like a very tourist focused kind of thing, like just for something you might see that's like oh, welcome to so and so. Here's like a quick, not super detailed map and just explaining like the major attractions kind of thing.
Gotcha. So Roscoe would make his way back over to, if Silas and Zed are still busy, over to Asta and Agatha and kind of point out the things. Just like opens the brochure. This is around the area we could stay. Got a few food recommendations.
You
All
don't
right.
poison us with berries again?
Did you eat them?
No, God, no. Do I look stupid?
I just like looking at the brochure.
Look,
There's a pod racing track. You happen to know it's on the brochure. A
What racing?
pod racing track.
Oh, I thought you said
Pod
hog.
racing.
A pod racing
like
track.
in the pneumatic tubes.
Yes, in the pneumatic tubes.
You put pods in
Hell
that.
yeah.
As
Yes.
opposed to
Yeah.
Star Wars pod racing.
Yes.
I want Star Wars pod racing, but I like this version better.
Zed looks over to Roscoe now holding a brochure. Did you find somewhere to sleep?
Yeah, there was a few recommendations. The one that stood out is kind of our usual MO of trying to be a little cheaper and on the more discreet side. Apparently, there's some places to stay by the lifts. That it's loud, but won't be noticed there.
We don't need to be as discreet in Guildford.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, also you said there's a good place by the Hanging Gardens.
I
Immediately
will,
jump to the more
I will pay
expensive
for
option.
a nice place.
Yeah, you can. So on the thing, the two like terraces that are clearly marked as being more residential are the fourth terrace, which is like kind of generally speaking the big hub of the city, and the seventh terrace, which is more upscale. And that's like got some of the nightlife, a lot of the like fancier restaurants, stuff like that are up
that
there.
noodle place.
Yeah, the noodle place. It's a little bit more of the cultural hub, but you know, it's higher up. But I think the brochure does warn about air sickness. So, you know, you all are pretty healthy and you know, you've been on airships and stuff, but it is quite high up for the average person.
Yeah, altitude.
That's for the 7th tier specifically, or this whole place?
It mentions it like 7th tier up. Particularly, it will say that like the 8th terrace and the 9th terrace are like there are sections that you can go to, but generally like not really open to the public. Like you can go there, there's like some small viewing sections, but the 8th terrace has a lot of the like infrastructure stuff up there. You know, like power generation, stuff like that, water, etc. Pipes. So there's not like a lot of reason to go there. And then the 9th terrace is used a lot for research, and there's a lot of the city defenses up there. So they're, again, it's just not something that most people would go to.
Also informed that there is a Starvale styled hot doggery on the 5th terrace.
Did you ask if it came with children for you to berate and try and beat?
Roscoe will gesture over to Agatha. We brought our own. It's fine.
Zed says, does it say in the pamphlet handily how much rooms are at one of
It doesn't list.
Do we have to actually go?
Yeah, it doesn't list that specific information. It's like a 3, you know, it's like a
I guess
trifold.
it's a pamphlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to hang out with you guys anymore. Zed wanted to leave, but he has to pay for you to stay places.
There's like some
I mean, Asta's staying
advertisements here and there for
Basically, we're on
hotels.
ship, so.
Zed will still get Asta a room because of that ship doesn't presumably have like showering
No.
capability, and so Zed will get Asta.
It's a towel shower situation. Towel bath, I mean, not towel shower.
But yes, Zed will follow Roscoe towards whichever of the nicer places Roscoe picks. Really, is fine.
Right. Where are we going, Roscoe?
He did say one of the places that's like nice to stay is by the Hanging Gardens, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I said it's an easy to identify landmark. He'll head there.
Okay. You take the pneumatic tubes up, kind of all stepping in. It's not like a train situation where you're like you kind of stand or sit up, because it's going like pretty like slanted up, right? So you kind of all sit down. It's like a flat tube. Everybody's laying down flat, and then suddenly you're like your guts are closer to your to the floor than they should be. But it's like 15 seconds later, you shot up. You're on the fourth terrace, and you all can get out feeling maybe slightly wobbly. And you head out. The Hanging Gardens are not hard to find because they're huge. It's like a very big public garden space that sort of starts to spill out over the terrace, even like vast vines kind of crawling down even. And you can see where like the mountain river is slightly diverted to feed into this and then fall back out into its natural course. But there's some very nice hotels with like views nearby. They're a little bit more expensive. Are you getting everybody a room? So 5 rooms.
Yes.
You want like 2 adjoining rooms, or like 2 pairs of adjoining rooms? I mean.
Yeah, so 2 pairs of adjoining rooms and then a room that is nowhere near that.
Okay. It's probably going to be like like 600 gil a night.
Great. Zed will pay for 3 nights. Who knows how long we're actually going to be here, but why did I do one that required me to do the most maths?
1,800.
Yeah, but it's the minusing 1,800 from my 57,000 gil, Maddie. I had an awkward amount of gil, and now I have 55,550. Zed does all the like necessary paperwork, gets all the keys, and gives Agatha and Roscoe adjoining rooms, and Silas and Asta the other set of adjoining rooms, and doesn't mention that they're adjoining. And then takes the room that is nowhere near, so that you can have to privacy.
Yeah, I think you do the classic. You walk in and you're all like, "What's this door? What's this door?" And then at some point, Roscoe and Agatha both open their doors at the same time. Like,
is there like a conjoining space, or is it just my door opens directly into Agatha's room and vice versa?
I think there's like a small hallway. It's one of those like situations where they both lock independently.
Okay. Does the doors open inward?
Towards your room, yes.
Okay. Roscoe would open his door if he sees Agatha staring back at him for a moment, regardless of what the face is at first. Roscoe will just go, gotcha. And then we'll shut the door, and then it's just a hard cut to Roscoe finding a chair and just wedging it underneath the door.
You said we hear like I think it's squeak, and you cut back and forth between the two scenes, and you can't tell which chair is squeaking because it's just exactly the same pace and motion.
Otherwise, the rooms are
Meanwhile, the other
pretty
room.
nice.
I think we do the same thing. We just kind of go, and I just close the door. I don't do the same. I don't put a chair between me and Silas. It's fine.
Also, Zed probably said to everybody before, like heading off to rooms, that if they want dinner paid for by him, that we should meet up in like 3 hours in the lobby.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're on
Yeah,
your own for
his-
food.
Yeah, Silas is husbanding his teacher's salary. Didn't get a paycheck before he stormed off carefully, so he will definitely be there at the end of those hours.
Yep.
I'm a child.
The only thing that Zed is doing in this like time, which is why he kind of wanted everybody to be off doing their own thing, is that he's going to go find Roscoe a Hawaiian shirt
Nice.
and then take the sleeves off it before giving it to Roscoe. Can I roll a D100 for quality of Hawaiian shirt available in Killfell?
Sure. It's subtropical, so I'd say it's impossible.
No. I wanted to get like really low or really high.
I think the fashion is more roby than that. More, looser, but in a kind of long cut way.
Can we say that the closest thing I can find is like a hybrid bowling shirt, Hawaiian shirt that's not really Hawaiian shirty?
Sure.
Right. It's got flames on it. Like it
Guy
looks like
Fieri?
something Guy Fieri.
Guy
would wear.
Fieri?
Guy Fieri Roscoe.
But
At
I'll
some
take the
point,
sleeves off for you.
Silas, since you messaged, you get a message back saying Momo says to meet 10 p.m. tonight, Second Terrace, West Edge. Find the sign that says Reasonable Concerns Incorporated and head inside.
Second Terrace, West Edge, Reasonable Acquisitions Incorporated.
Reasonable Concerns.
I was gonna say reasonable concerns is a
Very different.
interesting name.
Yeah, Reasonable Concerns Incorporated.
Oh.
Where's the internet die? Oh god. Truly a horrid shirt.
Oh Lord.
Yes,
Yep, that is- Man, every middle school boy had that. The blue flame one. Sharply remember that.
But yes.
So yes, Silas.
But
you
yeah, I'll
do
hold
that.
on to that information until we go to dinner, presumably.
You want to go to this noodle shop? Is that it?
Zed will pay for dinner for everybody at the same place. So if everybody wants to go to the noodle shop, Zed simply does not care. But if there's like, I want the noodle shop, I want a hot dog, Zed, you'll get it. Nobody's getting anything. Only he and Asta will eat.
Silas likes noodles.
Are you giving Roscoe the shirt off screen at this point? Or were we meeting?
No, he will give it to you in the lobby because he kind of Zed's doing something nice and he needs to cut that with of what will happen.
Also,
Then
So yeah,
rating it.
whenever Roscoe comes down, Zed gives him like a little it's like in a box, because it's like in a little shirt box, and he just hands it over. The one Hawaiian shirt. Well, as close as I could find.
Roscoe will open the box and just kind of stare at it for a second, and I'll take
I
it.
took the sleeves off for you.
Gives you a thumbs up. He'll duck into whatever the nearest like lobby, like a bathroom is, for like half a second, and then come back out wearing that and has mysteriously manifested sunglasses.
Yeah. Just punched a guy out for some sunglasses.
Silas
would
will
not part of the
offer
show.
to spike your hair into tips.
It's the same cloth, but somehow now it has like bleached ends.
There
Yeah.
you go. That's what it is.
Also, the sleeve material that Zed took off and restitched for you has been fashioned into headbands.
Oh god.
Hmm.
High art. High art.
After this quick change, you once again noodle or not noodle. Zoom up. Yeah, you noodle up. Well, you kind of do noodle up because again, they're not perfectly straight. They twist because not all the terraces are on one straight incline.
If humans ride in pneumatic tubes, are they extruded out at the end?
Sort of. You find yourself at
Unextreated.
Wheat and Steam,
Ew.
which is a very seems like fairly busy, fairly busy restaurant. It's the sort of place that's like not super like visually like you're like, oh wow, when you walk in, it's kind of seems a little bit plain, but there's a short line before you get seated. It's pretty big, and they only have one thing on the menu with like changings of toppings. They have noodles that you can get like 3 different broth varieties. One with like a mushroom base, one with a meat base, and one with a fish base. And then they come with like you can choose your toppings. But other than the noodles, they don't have anything else.
That's the best type of noodle place.
Yeah. I'm a fan of that.
Yes, Zed will patiently wait, and then we'll get a table. Presumably, it's a little bit longer to wait for 5 people.
Yeah, it's a little bit longer, but it doesn't take too long before you get seated. The waiter will like quickly take your order, and they'll tell you to just ring this bell if you want a refill, because they'll just bring you more noodles.
Oh man.
Like
That's
you get
great.
charged every time, or is it like an all
No.
you can eat noodle?
Yeah, it's like all you can eat noodle.
There's a ramen place I go to that does that, where it's like, you want up to double noodle? Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Zed will be happy to pay at this place.
All right, yeah, you sit down, you have some noodles. They're like amazing, delicious. Silas, I assume you inform everybody else what new information you have.
We're all gonna starts it out by telling Roscoe that he can't eat himself into a coma because we have a place to be, and that explains the timeline and the location.
Nod with
Mm.
a mouthful of noodle.
But came directly from Thrissa, so doesn't seem.
Oh, I forgot, but she would have given you like a phrase to say to the person at the bar.
So it's like, well, I mean, you can all come if you want, but I'm literally just going to go there and tell them that Thrissa has information that a rebel cell is heading this way and the Leviathan might be chasing them.
We're as safe as it gets here, I suppose. Silas has gotten a noodle bowl that is just as ridiculous on the the incidental not additional charge toppings as you can get. So it's just like covered in
It's one price.
oh, then yes. It is just it's just toppings heaven. Like
Yeah, you got like slices of cured meat, like
Roscoe is eating.
seasoned egg, green onion, mushrooms, the whole thing. Chili oil.
Roscoe looks like he's eating a different food than the rest of you. His bowl looks like it's a beef bowl.
Excellent.
Yours is a
Okay.
persona challenge.
Yeah.
Zed is eating the noodles as most commonly seen by other people, as is his nature to just adapt to his surrounding.
Mhm.
So he's just like whatever the regulars get is what he wants.
There are vegetarian options, right?
It's literally whatever you want to add to the soup.
But is it a vegetarian broth?
Yeah, the mushroom one is, yeah.
I missed a few minutes because I needed to talk to.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, there's a mushroom broth, meat broth, and a fish broth with noodles. And then whatever toppings you choose, that's the only dish that they have.
Great.
All right. You all eat. Who is actually going to go to meet Momo? I presume Zed, but is anybody else planning on going? Do you all want to go?
I'll ask
Silas
if
is
Zed wants any of us to come along. What
yeah.
other?
I mean, it feels to me as Jack like a pretty normal thing to be like, go to this place, deliver message. It's literally what his job was.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, if you have things that you want to do in the city, or are tired, or are in noodle coma, no worries. I'm happy to go alone. Worst case scenario, I die. But that could happen anyway. I could die from noodle heart attack.
True.
Do you think there's a chance you'll die going?
I am old enough into my life that there's a chance I'll die. The probability just gets higher each day.
Says this mid-30s guy.
Yeah, but he talked to Roscoe about his death recently, so he's thinking about it.
Yeah. Roscoe will go. He will get, if possible, he will get some noodles to go.
As everybody starts shuffling away, Agatha will also pushes the table very abruptly and goes, "I'm gonna go find a library," and would like to go find a library.
Silas will kind of stand up at that and say, "Do you mind if I come along? Not to supervise you, but for the books. I am a teacher. I can read."
Did Agatha say it like that? Like it was rebellious, but like one of the most non-rebellious statements. Like, I'm gonna go read.
Yeah.
No, it was more of a, well, I have something to do also.
Gotcha.
As everybody's leaving, Zed, I suppose, will pay.
Silas thanks Zed for the meal on the way out. And I think like probably has some kind of container in his pocket from recent things that we have done, and we'll kind of slide it over to Roscoe and say you should be discreet about that. Most
I'll just
unlimited food places don't do to go.
I'll give you money to come back.
Roscoe was just
How much?
Roscoe was just
How much
sneakily
is
putting
this
protein.
nuisance?
It's 200 gil.
That's outrageous.
There's 5 of you.
$40 whole dollars.
Disgusting.
Roscoe had 4 bowls.
Yeah, but you said it was all the same price. Not right.
Yeah, but I mean that's the risk of an all you can eat.
That's, yeah, that's how they.
There
I'm
is a
hungry.
very.
It's 4 a.m.
I'm sorry. There is a very large library on the 6th terrace where a lot of the research is done. There's a large academy there, scientific development, etc. That you are, but it is open to the public. It's not reserved. It's the library for the Academy of Magitech and Natural Philosophy.
Okay, so what Agatha, actually, I think Agatha talked to or is muttering this to Silas as we're walking there. So I know it's like a long shot, but we have these pieces of artifact from Shiva,
Mm-hmm.
and what I'm hoping to like be able to maybe like dig through or whatever is like any further indication as to like where those might have ended up from like stories or legends or whatever.
Okay. Go ahead and make me an investigation check, and I'll presume that Silas is helping.
Yeah, Silas kind of hums. This is thoughtful.
So I can make that an advantage then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
19. Okay. I'm gonna say that you don't find anything immediately, but depending on how long you guys end up staying in the city, you will get some information. So I'm gonna make a note to come back to that at the top of next session, depending on where we head. While that's happening, Zed, you head down to the 2nd terrace. It doesn't take you too long to find the place as described. It is the 2nd terrace is sort of as I described previously, like it has it's where you landed. It's got mostly commercial stuff, not commercial like for normal shopping, but for like shipping, stuff like that, wholesale goods. There's some people do live down here, obviously, but there's lots of offices and stuff like that. As you head over, it's kind of clear that you're heading towards not the rundown part per se, but this is more for smaller businesses. So like big warehouses over in this section, and it does get a little bit windy at parts. But eventually, you do find this sign, and it's written both in the like old Mughal script as well as in the sort of common one as well. So it's very like fanciful up top, and then more normal, reasonable concerns incorporated. Despite that, you get the sense more that it's like a bar than a incorporated business. There's like very clearly, a bouncer, a few people heading in and out, but you're let in without issue. They don't like stop to ID you or anything. They just check you over really quickly, making sure that you're not bringing any like crazy weapons in, which you don't really have much in the way of weaponry to begin with. They don't balk at your pistol or anything. And as you go inside, you find it. It's fairly like moodily lit, but feels sort of upscale, you could say. Like there's leather chairs arranged in clusters around, more like coffee tables, like lounge style. There are bookshelves in here, and it's not, you wouldn't say it's seedy at all. It's just like there's magic lamps that are turned low, and there is a bar, but there's no menu. There's like, and nobody's like, no money is being exchanged at this bar. People come up, they get, or they ask for things and are, at times given bottles, given drinks, and take that back to their table. There's an attendant who is taking coats, bringing people things, mostly like tea when they're not getting it from the bar. And it's not that big. There's probably like really only like 30 people could fit in here comfortably. And it's fairly busy though. There's a number of occupied tables and chairs, as well as a few people sitting alone, one of which is probably Momo, you would think. Although you've never met this person, so you're not 100% sure which of these lone Moogles they are. But of course, you have the passphrase to give to the bartender.
Which I will. I'll head up and say to the bartender. Sorry. Let's say. I'll ask for a drink first, and then give the passphrase.
They'll pour you and you get a drink, and they'll look you up and down, and they'll without being like very pointy, they'll just kind of like nod and gesture their like Moogle palm falling slightly in that direction towards one of the lounge areas where there is a lone Moogle who is they're not dressed super nice. They look like an accountant to your eyes, but they are wearing like deeply shaded round sunglasses, despite it being fairly dark in here.
Of course. Zed will take the drink, thank the bartender, and wander over like to a table that's near that, but like seeing that there's no tables that are available because it's busy, we'll like just sit down at that table as if it's like a last resort for him to sit there.
The Moogle will look up at you and say, "Hey there, friend. What's the drink?"
Zed kind of looks down at it, takes a sip, and says, well, I always order one of these everywhere I go. It's my grandmother, Thrissa, used to order them. This one's okay.
She'll pull over a saucer of tea and take a sip before setting it down. I'll say, never liked alcohol too much myself. They say it's bad for you, don't they, Kubo?
Oh, it's good for you until you drink too much, and then it becomes bad for you.
Yeah. She'll take off a cap, sort of revealing a very deep red palm up top. She says, so we were contacted by one of our affiliates, said that you wanted to come by and talk to us.
we've been having some issues with the Empire's flagship, the Leviathan. We think it's going to chase one of the rebel cells that's flying down into why do I keep forgetting this republic's name? The Carantine Republic. And I just wanted to make sure that the right people knew. I wouldn't want anyone blindsided by Imperial activity in the area.
She like reaches into this like satchel, almost like messenger bag style. She's gonna pull rummages for a couple things, and you hear like the clinking of metal, but they'll pull out like a notepad and a pen, start to write some things down. They say, "Do you know where?"
Last I heard, the rebels were looking to climb the pillars. What's this thing called? My notes are a mess. The Pillars of Stone. Zed still has blue hair, by the way. Because I didn't.
How did you come by this information?
Zed thinks about like how he kind of just doesn't want to leave anybody with him that could get them hurt. So I think he says, "Oh, I passed cross with some of them in Damisk a few weeks ago. They said the Leviathan had been following their airship around. Wasn't much of a ship. It's more of like a pleasure boat."
Nods. Make a deception check. Pretty good. They have to roll really high. Okay. Yeah. Very like they're pretty insightful, but it's very believable, and you're kind of weaving in like mostly truth. It is mostly a true statement. You're just kind of like again, obfuscating a little bit. So she kind of nods. And she says, "All right. And what are you doing in the city?"
I'm a messenger.
Okay, let's write that now. She says, "Well, thank you for bringing this to our attention. We'll be happy to keep an eye out. Not too much we can do against the Leviathan if it comes close to the city."
Oh, it was. I don't know if you've heard, but in the Empire, there have been attacks recently. A train was attacked up in the north by the Imperials trying to get to rebels, they said. I just...
Terrorist attack, supposedly.
Yes. But I wouldn't want any innocent people here hurt because the Leviathan showed up. Not that I think they would. It's better to know than to one day look up and see the Imperial flagship.
Well, luckily, nobody really lives near the pillars too much, except for those. There's a small village out there. She can just like shrugs. It's a very ancient Mughal village, but not a lot of people really travel out there. They're kind of like hermits, I guess you could say.
Zed leans forward, like that way that someone leans forward when you just hit their like area of special interest, and it's like in perfect fluent Mughal, is like, I actually, outside of the messaging, love Mughal, and it's beast folk is the word for people, right?
Yeah.
And beast folk history, and things like that, is this ancient village, could I visit and ask them about their history?
Think about it for a moment, and I kind of look you up and down. They say, well, it's not a secret per se, but it's not on any maps that you'll find. Not unless you are really good about digging around in places you shouldn't be. But I'll ask you kindly not to do that in this place. But if you can find it, they have no qualms against visitors. I think the clan head, the elder, Kupori, they shouldn't have any problem talking with you.
Zed smiled. Well, my job doesn't entail digging much here, or really ever. But I might take a detour out and try and meet with this elder Kapori. And Zed genuinely does love and does kind of love like Moogle and Beastfolk history. And won't push more than that. It's like, well, that's a challenge for us to see. Like, if we find the place, if they don't want to be found, that's our challenge. But they could give us a lot of information about the stone. And he says, yes, if you have need messages to go out, I can come back the day before I leave Kilfell.
We'll contact you if we need anything. There's definitely a good chance. Depends on where you're heading next.
Zed laughs, like a genuine laugh, and says, I truly never know.
It is the way of things. Well, while you're here, this place, they call it the Whispering Exchange. There's upstairs, it's a library. You can buy valuable books. Might tell you things that you can't find out anywhere else. And like they emphasize books in a way that's like, yeah, it's not the book that's important, but like you can buy and sell information here, sort of thing. It's not cheap, but just in case you're interested.
I will see what books are available.
They know. And then
Looks down and drains his drink.
Yeah, they they start to pull out a book, like in the sense that it's like they're trying to make it seem like, oh, the conversation got boring. Like these two people had a quick chat because the one guy happened to sit there. Now they're pulling out their book to be like, okay, I'm done talking to you. We're gonna go back to being strangers.
Yeah, I think Zed goes and gets a drink and then goes and sits back at the table for the second drink, but doesn't say anything. Like, really hammer home, like this was not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess he'll go up and look at the book thing upstairs. He's not super invested in any information, but
yeah, fair. All right, I think we're gonna wrap up here, and I will. In between, if there's anything that you did want to ask about that, an information broker might have knowledge of, feel free, and I will give you a price for that information. Same thing with the, I'll do send the information from the books, or from the library research. And I'll also ask, Maddie, I'll message you a little bit, ask you about what work that you would like to do on the ship other than just like making it not look like trash.
Yeah.
Depending on how long you guys actually, if you wait like a day or two in Kilfell, will depend on how much you're able to do, but just so that we have that sorted. But yes, I hope you all enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. There was a lot of very good RP this session. Kristen.
Removal's always
Thank you all
tricky.
for watching. Thank you all for playing, and we will see you next time. Bye.